welcome back to my channel. As y'all can tell by the title of the video, I have my husband here with me.
Hello.
His name is Jose. Say hi, babe.
Hey.
For today's video, we are going to just be answering some questions so you guys can get to know him and us as a couple. So if you guys want to get to know more about us, then please just keep on watching. Okay, so here I have a list of questions. So if you see me looking down, I'm just reading the questions off and then we're just going to answer them as we go along. So first question is, when did we meet? Do you remember when we met?
Yes, I do remember.
When did we meet? We met in March of 2014. We were working at a cafe in Evanston, Illinois together. That's when we first met. Next question is, what was your first opinion of me?
You looked very quiet. That was my opinion about you.
I was quiet. Next question is, when did you know I was the one? When did you know I was the one?
When you make me food every night.
Yeah, so backstory. He used to live in the YMCA. The YMCA is like a bunch of studio apartments, but they don't have no kitchen. They don't have no nothing like that. So everybody just lives there, you know, in their own separate room, of course, but there's kind of nowhere to really cook food. And once I found that out, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't send him away without food. So I would cook for him every single night.
She's a keeper.
Next question. How did you propose to me?
For Thanksgiving, I proposed to you at my family's house.
Yes, it was so beautiful. When did we get married?
June 6, 2015.
Yes, see? He remembers. Next question is, if you could get rid of one thing about one another, what would it be?
You're complaining.
Babe!
I'm just being honest.
Babe, okay. Me with you. He doesn't know where the laundry basket is. Next question. Who is the better cook?
I am. No, she's awesome. She cooks really good.
Yes, I love being in the kitchen.
I love how she cooks.
Next question is, what do we argue the most about?
Who's right?
Yeah, we have a hard time sometimes admitting when we're wrong. But you know, the Lord convicts us and then we come around and humble ourselves and then all's good. Who is more affectionate?
I am.
I don't like to cuddle.
I love to cuddle.
No me gusta. What do you do for work? Please tell our audience.
I am a polisher. I polish stainless steel metal, and it's pretty awesome. What I do is I polish the corners of the sides of like portillos and naf tables and wall shelves.
Next question is, how do you get through the day-to-day of marriage?
First, through God.
Yes.
Praying and seeking the Lord, and our relationship involves God in the center. And once we keep seeking God, it's like a triangle. God's first, and while we keep seeking God, we get closer and our love starts to grow and merges even more each day.
That was beautiful.
You know, babe. No.
Next one is, use one word to describe each other.
Selflessness.
Babe, you're loyal. Should we explain that or should we just move on?
Let's move on.
Move on. How do you handle arguments? So it kind of goes with what he was saying earlier and what we kind of touched on in an earlier question. We just really try to keep God first, and that's really where we get our humbleness. And we're not going to sit here and say we don't argue. We argue. Everyone argues. If people tell you they don't argue, that's not true. But it's how you handle the arguments as a couple. When one is wrong, it's always good to come back and humble yourself and apologize, you know, so that way you guys can move forward. Even in certain situations where, you know, one of us is being hard-headed, the other one still has to be humble and come and be like, you know what, I'm sorry. There's been plenty of times that we've both done that to each other. But yeah, it's really just about being humble and looking at Christ within that argument and beyond that argument.
Amen.
Do you plan on having more kids?
Yes, I want to have 50 kids.
No.
50 kids.
No. No, we already have 2. And if God permits, maybe we'll have 2 more, but not anytime soon, but maybe next year. Next one is, how do you feel about your wife being a YouTuber?
How I feel?
Yes.
I feel proud of her. I feel actually really excited because I see, she has a lot of gifts and a lot of talents, and she's called to be a prophet, and I see that God is opening doors for her to get more comfortable in her gift. It has its positive and has its negatives too. Just the things I don't like about her being a YouTuber is, guys are gonna be stalking her, and creeps are gonna be looking and try to stalk her, but I mean, it goes both ways. I guess it has its goods and it has its bads, and but I'm very proud of her. I'm very proud of her for getting out of her comfort zone.
What are your future plans as husband and wife?
Well, like I told her before, our plans are, seeking God and the purpose and the plans that He has for our lives. Because we don't live for ourselves no more. We don't live for our own ambitions or our own, motives. But we do live for God, and we live for Jesus. And whatever God wants to do in our life, whatever vision that God puts in our heart, we'll go and we'll drive and be empowered to do so. But meanwhile, we're just going to keep loving each other and keep learning and growing in God, and whatever the future holds for us, we're going to be willing to just follow God and pick up our cross.
Oh, that was beautiful. I agree with him. We have plans, like, as us as humans, as husband, wife, there are things that we want to do, but ultimately it's what God permits, and wherever God leads us and whatever plans He has for us, that's ultimately what we're gonna follow. So yeah, that's all of our questions. Alright everyone, that wraps up this video. I know it was short, but we wanted to keep it that way, just to give y'all a little bit more about us, and I wanted to introduce my husband. So when I mention him in my videos, you guys know who I'm talking about, because he is just my #1 supporter. And yeah, maybe in the future we can do another video with more questions. We'll see. Leave your comments down below if you have any questions for us, and we will be happy to answer them. And thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye.